So, can I tell you something that I really wish someone had told me years and years and years ago? Every time I restarted a new routine, I assumed that I was just a fail, right? I had to take the L. I thought I wasn't disciplined enough. I thought I didn't have enough motivation, etc., etc. But looking back, I truly believe that discipline wasn't solely the problem. Let's peel back these layers right quick. It's about to get deep. So, firstly, we need to stop calling this failure. We need to stop having this failure mindset around these different stages of our life because why do we always immediately assume that restarting means we're broken? Where did we learn that consistency equates to worth? And why is starting over such a loaded situation? I feel like it's one extreme to the other where starting over is almost romanticized, which I believe in some ways it can be, where it's like, oh, I'm starting over, ooh, great. I love that. But then I feel like it can also go to the other extreme where it's like, oh, I'm starting over. I messed up this, that, and the third. You have to find a fine balance between both, right? Because starting over is not proof that you failed. Sometimes it's simply proof that your old approach was not sustainable. And that's something that we talked about in a previous video as well, where it's like sustainability has to be something that's at the core of how you are living your life. Otherwise, you are going to feel like you're always starting over from square zero, from square zero. There's also this invisible weight of decision making. There's the decision fatigue, right? Shout out to the people in the audience who have dealt with analysis paralysis and decision fatigue to the max. Exactly. Come to the front. Come to the front. Instead of making it clinical, we're going to make it personal, right? Because by the time we as women think about our own habits, we've already made 50, 11 decisions for other people. We made it for our mama, our daddy, our husband, our kids, whatever. We've already made decisions for everybody else. So we don't have the capacity to have for ourselves. We just don't. And it's extremely difficult to choose well when we've been spending the day choosing for everyone else. Our minds have limits. They have limits. And the limits may differ for different people, of course, depending on what they have going on in their lives. But realistically, we have our limits, and our brains are wired and designed to maintain those limits, right? That's the design of our brains to keep us safe. That's how God made it. He put an internal safety system in our brains to keep us safe. So when your capacity has been surpassed, your brain says, nope, we're not doing this. We're not doing this anymore. No, you're done. You're done. So don't fight against it. Acknowledge it. Be like, you know what? I'm at capacity. I need to stop. Even if that means you have to redirect people around you. If you were to say, hey, I'm at my capacity right now. I'm not going to be able to do this at the moment, but I can do it later. They'll live. There's nothing wrong with you being communicative about when you have reached your limits. That is perfectly fine. That is perfectly normal. And it is perfectly healthy. And you may get pushback, and that's okay. Because oftentimes the people you'll get pushback from are the people who actually haven't done that for themselves, where they have really gotten deep and gotten to the root of their own issues. So when they feel pushback, it's like, oh, they'll be fine. I promise. We also build these routines on our heads around this fantasy life that we've imagined, probably since we were kids, right? We've always thought, oh, I want to do this, and I'm going to get married and have kids and and it's going to be so cute. And we have this like very ideal lifestyle that we've imagined. But then reality hits, boop, hits us upside the head. And then we shame ourselves for being human. Life hits. Life has interruptions. Lives have grief, kids get sick, work gets busy, energy changes. Life be lifing. Okay. And these routines that we built in our heads, we built around who we wish we were or where we wish we were instead of who we are. Ooh, that stings me, even. That actually does sting me as I'm saying it to you. I've done it. I'm 33 years old. I thought I would have been married, happily married, and had kids by now. That's not the life or the routine that I have. And that's okay. And I came to accept that. The routines that I have and I build for myself now are moving me in the right direction as long as I'm allowing God to guide me in that direction. And that's the biggest thing. If you try to do it on your own, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So I know for me, making sure that I am focused on where my feet are and on the present is something that's really, really, really going to keep me grounded and rooted during those times where I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no clue what I'm doing. Now, here's one that's going to get real juicy woosy, right? Maybe our routines aren't the problem. Oop, let me say it not louder for the people in the back, but more emphasized. Maybe our routines aren't the problem. Maybe it's our awareness of our nervous system that's challenged. That survival mode, that burnout, that constant societal pressure, that hypervigilance. Our bodies and our minds cannot, CANNOT, cannot build peaceful habits while it's preparing for another emergency that isn't even there oftentimes, right? It's just not. You can't have your body and mind constantly in fight or flight and expect to be functioning and functioning well. Speaking to myself, I was actually just there recently where I had to really intuitively gauge my body. My mom will tell you I'm very intuitive with my body and my mind. And I just had to be very intuitive about my rest. And I don't just mean sleeping, but resting from everything going on. You can't possibly expect your body to have you live your life comfortably while being bunched up on itself mentally and physically. It's just not going to work. Now, I know and I respect that there are people who are in situations like caretakers, for example, or parents where this is incredibly difficult to do because you are forced to be on alert pretty much all the time. You have to watch the kids. You have to watch grandma or mom if you're caregiving for them. I completely understand, and I'm not saying any of this out of saying it's easy. That is not what I'm saying whatsoever. I know life be lifing, and that being able to create routines that help you keep your sanity can be extremely difficult. So I have seen firsthand what that looks like. So I get it. I completely get it, and I sympathize and I empathize with people who may not have that flexibility that they want to have when it comes to creating routines in their lives that don't feel as stressful. So I just wanted to put that out there. I respect that wholeheartedly. Now, here's where we build rhythms, not rules, not these rigid, stiff rules where we need to ask, how do I become more disciplined? We're not asking that. We're asking, what rhythms can we actually live with? Because here's some more tea. I'm going to bink, drop this gem on you right quick. Sustainable routines usually will feel surprisingly ordinary. I know. What a mind breaker right there. I'll say it again. Sustainable routines usually feel surprisingly ordinary. Some people might even call them boring, right? Which they're really not boring. We're just so used to living in chaos every single day, whether it's in the world around us or our own internal chaos. That silence and being chill feels foreign. I know. It feels very, very foreign. So maybe the goal isn't becoming someone who never has to start over or evolve. Maybe that's not the thing, right? Maybe the goal is understanding yourself well enough where the restart becomes gentler each time, right? Because rebuilding your life isn't about getting it perfect. It's about coming back to yourself, coming home to yourself again and again. That's what the goal is. And that is okay. It's going to be messy sometimes. It's going to be imperfect, but better doing something than nothing. So, if our little chit chat encouraged you today, I would love for you to stick around in our safe little corner of the internet, of the internets. Okay, so I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to all because YouTube be playing games per usual. And I'm building this channel one honest conversation at a time for women who are rebuilding from burnout, grief, and life disruptions, of which we have many. I feel like it's our lot in life, right? And if that sounds where you are right now, come in. Come into our little safe space and hang out whenever you want. Whenever you want. And I would love to hear y'all's thoughts in the comment section because it's where some of my favorite conversations happen, you know? I know that it may not be easy, it may not be an easy process to trust different spaces, but this space is safe. It truly is. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And in this video, I know that we spoke briefly about perfectionism. So check out this video here, or here, or here. I'm not sure which side it's going to be on. Check out this video where I actually talked about how perfectionism is a beast. I've dealt with it personally. I got very vulnerable in that video and how to move past it. All right. Thanks so much for dropping by, and we'll chat soon.